Hello, hello, hello. Melissa May Dillon here, live. Okay, it is starting. There's the red box is the giveaway. Live here on my personal page on Facebook, and I'm fired up. I felt so many feelings today. I cried so many things today. It has released the Kraken. There's so many things that have come through for me. And I do always want to say anything that I share, that I talk about, that I say, and I know it comes across in a sometimes in like a preachy way and like a it's got to be this way. I am always talking to myself as well. Okay, so I'm not coming from a place of I've got it figured out. I'm this high mighty person. I know all the things and you know nothing. Like literally, I'm speaking to myself. I literally look at myself as I'm speaking because I'm speaking to myself. I know that words throw through me, that things channel through me, that stuff throws through me, and it is not just for you. It is for me too. Okay. So never think that I'm putting myself as better because I'm saying what it is that I say and because of how I say what I say, what I say. So anyway, if you just saw, I made a post and there was actually a lot of things that I wanted to talk about today, and it all came through through multiple things that happened. And so I ended up titling this, it is not, what did I say? It is not my job to keep you from feeling bad. And I think that that is so much of the problem, because I will tell you, like this person messaged me and said, give me money, you're so rich, ha 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 ha. And I in the past, I would have actually felt bad or guilty. And it's like we're always trying to stop people from feeling bad or guilty. And it's like insane to me because and I could see how often I've done this in my own life. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. Nobody has to feel bad. Let's stop feeling bad. But maybe feeling bad is exactly what we need to do. It is exactly what we need to do. Feeling bad is exactly what we need to do. It has been the not feeling of the feelings that have caused us so many freaking problems. They're trying to protect from the feelings. They're trying to, push or suppress the feelings, right? Because bad is pain. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to feel that. It sucks to feel that. It sucks to feel painful. And so we live this mediocre life of avoiding pain. It's always right there on the edge. If I'm alone, if nobody loves me, then I'm sad and I'm afraid and blah, 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 blah. And I would rather sabotage my own life in the fear of getting into a relationship because then they could leave and then I'd feel bad again. So I'm just going to sit here feeling bad that I can't be in a relationship because if I get into a relationship, they might make me feel bad and I'm just living in pain the entire time anyway. We need to feel bad. We need to feel bad. I sat here today with my, I don't know what the word is, coach, whatever you want to call him, Dr. Nima. And he's like, feel the guilt, feel the shame, feel it all. And I was like, just tears just streaming down my face of all the guilt and the shame that I'm carrying and all the ways in which I wanted to help and I didn't help and all the ways in that I failed. And I'm just like, I logically can understand, exactly what happened, but I have avoided feeling the feelings of it. I can't feel the feelings of it because the feelings feel bad. The feelings are pain. We don't want to feel bad. We don't want to feel pain. And so we avoid them, put them on the edge, and they're always right here waiting just to be felt. And when you actually just genuinely feel a feeling, when you just feel it, it takes maybe 3-5 minutes and then it goes. And then it's like, whew. Why was I resisting that for so long? It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad. We make the fear of feeling pain more scary than the actual feeling of the pain. And that is where so many of our problems actually come from, is the avoidance of wanting to feel pain. And Melanie Ann Layer talks about it all the time. And I love Melanie Ann Layer. She's one of the best, amazing mentors ever out there. She was homeless in her car in 2016, figured out how to fall in love with her life, started coaching other people how to fall in love with their life, and has since gone on to build a $100 million brand. She's absolutely amazing, incredible. I sign up for every single program that I can of hers. And she always talks about that on the other side of whatever it is that we're doing, we're constantly trying to avoid pain. Like building a business comes with pain. Making money comes with pain. Doing anything, it comes with pain. And the resistance to feeling the pain is why we play small. The resistance to feeling bad, the resistance to messing up, because all of those things will lead to feeling pain. And we want to avoid pain like it is literally the worst thing ever. And so we live this life of half in pain, in resistance to the actual pain that we could feel. But if we just actually felt the pain, if we actually felt the guilt, if we actually felt the shame, if we actually felt the unworthiness, if we actually felt the abandonment, if we actually felt the rejection that we're trying to avoid, if we just felt it, it would move on and it would go. And it would, and I'm literally in the process of doing this. So again, I'm not coming from a place of figured it out years ago and y'all are effing idiots. It's like, I'm learning this right now. I'm learning this right now. I'm in the middle of doing it right now myself. And I just cried and I cried and I cried for the guilt and for the shame of all the things that I messed up with, of all the things I didn't do, of all the things that weren't done for me. I just was like, just crying and crying and crying and feeling so much guilt and feeling so much shame. And after I felt it, it was, it's no longer riding in my body, and it can pop up again and I'll feel it again. I don't want to suppress my feelings anymore. I don't want to hide from my feelings. I don't want to push away pain because pain hurts. We have to embrace the pain. We have to feel it to be able to move on from it. And and one of the biggest ways we avoid feeling pain is staying in anger, because anger actually feels good. Anger is and it helps us to feel better than we currently feel, because underneath the anger is some feeling you don't want to feel. Shame, rejection, unworthiness, what are the guilt, shame, unworthiness, rejection, abandonment. Those are some of the biggest feelings, and anger is a protective mechanism from us having to actually feel those feelings. And so when we blame someone else instead of feeling those feelings, anger feels a little bit better. Anger actually, it's like, it actually gives us a little bit of an adrenaline boost when we feel anger, when we can blame someone else. But all of that is avoidance. Anger is avoidance. Anger is avoidance of you feeling the feelings that are underneath the anger, that are more vulnerable to feel than the feelings of anger. Anger actually comes with a jolt, which feels good. Rejection and shame and unworthiness and abandonment do not have any goodness feelings to them. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I felt it today. And it's so beautiful that I could just to be able to be witnessed by Dr. Nima when he's like, okay, you're going to feel this. I'm sadistic. You're going to have to feel your shame. You're going to have to feel your guilt if you're going to work with me. And I'm like, and to be witnessed by another human being who can sit with me in those feelings, and he doesn't try to stop me from feeling bad. In fact, he wants me to feel it. He wants me to feel it because he knows as soon as I feel it, I can move from it, and I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm not going to allow it to hinder me. Right? It's kind of crazy how often we try to not feel bad, but that's literally exactly the thing we need to do. That literally can change everything. I know a part of the reason because I've talked about before, I make multi-millions in my business. We make 6 figures every single month, for sure. We're dabbling into the multi-6 figures, but I it should be millions. With what I do, with what I offer, with what I serve, with how I take care of it, it should be millions. I can see it and I know it. But we're not there yet. And I know one of those biggest reasons is the fear of what people think about people who make money. How many people are out there are fucking rabid in the mouth about Jeff Bezos is having a wedding and he spent $55 million on it? That is small compared to his wealth. But because he has so much money, we think he's a problem. But he literally made a business out of his garage. So we sit here and we celebrate she's building a business. She's not. But as soon as you make just a little bit too much money, now that's our money. You can't have that much money. No person should have that amount of money. How dare you? Right? And we have all this anger and we have all this about making money when almost everyone is being benefited by Amazon and the services that are being offered. But how dare him spend millions of dollars on a wedding to support a local community? Do you understand the money that he spent went into the people who did the things for the wedding? That money, what do you think? The 55 million was just burned in a fire and that was it, and it wasn't used? It went to the people who made the food. It went to the people who provided the chairs. It went to the people that boosted the local economy. If you don't understand how money works, it helped the place in which he had his wedding. It's people are asking he just took 55 million and burned it when he could have fed people. No, he paid for services that people provided, and it boosted the businesses within that area. That's just how things work. But I know this is coming up because Dr. Neiman literally said, the situations you in are to help you. Like whatever situation you're in is because you're avoiding a feeling. I have had 2 people recently, just more than 2 usually, but I just recently had 2 people ask me for money. 2. One of them is family, and I understand, and I love you so much. The other was a kind of a random person. Like, we don't really have, I think she used insurance exam queen stuff. We've messaged back and forth here and there, but I wouldn't call her a friend. Sorry, you're not a friend in my life. You're a person who's messaged me here and there. It's just, ha ha ha, give me some money. You're rich, ha ha ha. Like, what? So I'm like, what feelings am I trying to avoid feeling? Feeling bad that you have money. You feel bad that you have money and other people don't have money. I'm like, okay, I feel it. And now I'm willing to share it and admit it. I am always an open book. I'm an open book because I know most people are terrified to speak the truth about who they are and what they've done and where they've gone and all the stuff that's in their life. And I'm not afraid to share my truth. I'm not afraid to be real and raw and honest about what the heck I've done, what the heck I've been through, all the things that I'm learning and growing. And I know I'm supposed to be a witness and a testimony for other people to see what it looks like when someone just fully embraces the authentic truth, the authenticity of themselves, and not presenting some other version of themselves online. Like I've always said, I feel like the truest I speak is actually when I come online. Because when I'm around other people, like physically in person, I care so much about what they're feeling and what they're thinking that I don't always show up authentically myself. I am showing authentically as myself right now online because you're not standing in front of me and I don't have to think about what you're actually feeling. Like I don't have to worry, like I care about what you're feeling, but like not in a sense of like hiding or diminishing myself, right? There is a balance between caring about people, but then also changing who you are because you're worried about how someone else might perceive it or how somebody else might feel. And we can't do that. We have to live authentically as ourselves. We have to live in truth of ourselves. We have to be true to ourselves. We are the only ones that we are guaranteed to have this entire lifetime. And if we live based on what we think other people think about us, we are not being authentically true to who we are. We have to fully own who we authentically truly are. That's our whole point in life. That is what we're here to do, is to be who exactly we are. And if we are constantly shutting it down or catering it based on what we think other people think about us, then we're not doing the thing. We're here to do the thing. We're here to express ourselves. We're here to do what it is that we need to do. And one of the things we need to do is fully own and embrace who we are, what we've done, where we're going, what's happening. And I want to be just the real, like, I feel like I enter the world raw dog, no condom. Like, here's what it is. Here's who I am. Here's the messiness. Here's everything that I've got. And I'm a teacher. Like, I'm a teacher at my hardcore heart. That's who I am, as a teacher. And the best way that you learn is that you teach. So when I come on here and I say these things again, I'm reminding you again, I'm not speaking from a place of I done figured it out and you're all idiots. No, it's like, I'm one of the idiots and let's figure it out. Like, I learned a little bit. Let me share it with you and let's grow and learn and evolve. Like, I'm coming from a place of I am also talking to myself. I am also teaching to myself. I am also owning and fully embracing this myself. This is not something like when I come live and when I'm real and when I'm raw and when I'm just sharing from my heart, it's not coming from a place of I know better and I'm better and you're not. It's, oh my God, here's what I just learned. We got to figure this out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And to the person who wrote me that message, I wish you no harm. I want you to feel your guilt. I want you to feel your shame because I know that's going to serve you far better than if I had actually given you millions. Because if I'd given you millions, then you didn't do anything to create it. You didn't do anything to bring it in. You didn't do a proper exchange of energy, and it wouldn't have served you very well. And that's why winning the lottery doesn't work for people. Randomly giving money on a lucky hit, most people end up bankrupt when they win the lottery because they didn't have to do the work to actually receive that amount of money. In building my business, I've had to do work. I've had to get very real with myself. I had to get very honest with myself. I had to check in with how I'm showing up, how I'm feeling, how I'm operating, what programming conditioning do I have, what mindset do I have, what belief system am I running off of? Do I want to change that? Do I want to alter that? What type of leadership do I have? What is it like? I've had to like really peel myself up, to really like cut myself open and really just look at all the stuff that's going on inside of me. All this stuff. Just try me, see what happens when you give me $1 million. Okay, Melissa. I will send you millions of dollars worth of business. How about that? So I've had to do the work. I've had to do the work. I had to do the inner work. And that's a big reason. And that's why, like, right now, like I've talked about, I want to make $1 million in 1 month. I started that in December of 2024. And we are now 7 months into the new year. I haven't received $1 million in a month. And that's okay. Like, it wasn't about, and this is partly why I wanted to show people, like, you're so scared and nervous about saying physically out loud what it is that you want to bring into your life, what you want to call in and manifest, because if it doesn't happen quick enough, then you're an idiot and you don't want people to see that you're an idiot. Well, I want to be a witness and a testimony to that. So I declared I'm making $1 million in 1 month, in the month of December of 2024. 7 months later, hasn't happened yet. And I'm still saying it. I'm still declaring it because I know that it's part of my inner work. It is part of my journey. I know that saying that out loud, drawing the line in the sand, it was going to present me whatever opportunities I needed to grow, learn, and evolve to allow that to happen. And so, like, and I still want that to happen. And one side of me could say, if you need $1 million in 1 month, you need to work hard, you need to bust your butt, you need to create this, you need to do this, you need to put out this product, you need to put out the service, you need to put out these things so that people could buy it. But I know that that's only half. That's like not even half. That's like the 20%. The 80% is the inner work of being the person who can receive that amount of money, who has to work through my own stuff, who has to heal my generational stuff, who has to, like, there's so much I've had to do. Like, I was a person who was stressed and anxious all the time. I was a person who blamed other people all the time. Like, I was a person who lived in fear and negativity all the time. And I had to make those changes within myself. I've had to work on myself. I had to identify the ways in which I blamed other people. I had to identify the ways in which I allowed anxious thoughts to run my mind instead of positive thoughts. I had to identify in which programming conditioning I was running. I was in fight or flight a lot of the times. I was in survival mode. I wasn't in gratitude and abundance. I wasn't thinking that I was fully supported and taken care of because my nervous system was... And it's like, it's not my fault that it was that way. My parents had me. They gave me my nervous system. They gave me my surroundings for the first 18 years. That's how I learned everything that I learned. And then I was thrown out as an adult, and now it's on you. You got to figure it out. You're fully responsible for your life. And it took me a while to figure it out. It took me a while. Oh, I didn't have to live with those beliefs and conditionings that my parents gave me. Like, all the time, my dad would always say things about, we don't have enough money, we're poor, whatever. Not enough, not enough, not enough, not enough. And so for so long in the first few years of my business, I always felt not enough, not enough, not enough. And I'm like, can I just feel like it's enough? Like, when will it ever be enough? And then there's this point where it's like you realize that the entrepreneur and a leader, you always want to grow, and it is never going to be enough. You always want to get more. You always want to have more. You always want to achieve more because you know you can, and it's so expansive and it's so fun. But I switched from not enough in survival to creating more. Like, it's a different vibe that I'm carrying now. So it's like I've had to do the inner work. My business was built because of the inner work that I've done. Not because, I mean, I've also, because I have an amazing and incredible product, but so many other people have amazing and incredible products too, but they're scared of fear. They're scared of being seen. They're scared of people rejecting them. They're scared of anything that could happen to them as they're building a business. And so even if they have this amazing, incredible product, they're way too scared. They're way too fearful. They're worried about what other people are thinking about them. So they're not doing the business moves. They're not putting themselves out there. They're not making the waves. They're not showing authentically as themselves. And so they haven't made the multi-millions. And again, I'm not saying I've made multi-millions because I'm an awesome and amazing person. I'm saying I've made multi-millions because I'm willing to grow and learn. Because I'm willing to evolve. I'm willing to accept my shit. I'm willing to own my shit. I'm willing to use it as fertilizer to become a better person. And it hurts. It's painful. But feeling the pain, being able to receive pain, being able to receive the pain also allows you to receive the money. I talked briefly a little bit about this last night. We mostly think about receiving as receiving money. But receiving also means receiving pain. Can you receive the pain that life has for you? Can you receive difficult situations? Can you receive guilt and shame as a human being? Because it's just a feeling we're all going to feel. It's here. It's all around us. It's been blocked for generations. So many people have refused to feel guilt and shame. And it's just been building up and building up and building up. And now we're just sitting in this generation, like we just learned about feelings. We learned that we're allowed to feel it. I always remind me, it is safe to feel my feelings. I am okay to feel my feelings. I am allowed to feel my feelings. I have permission to feel my feelings. I did not learn that until I was 30. How old am I? 37 years old. 37 years old. Why? But anyway, now that I know that, I'm like, we have to feel our feelings, people. You can't blame anyone else. You can't give it to anyone else. No one else can save you from feeling your feelings. You got to feel your feelings. That's the only way to grow, learn, and evolve is you got to feel your feelings. And I've been willing to feel my feelings. I don't have loyalty to my triggers. I don't have loyalty to my trauma. I don't have loyalty to the blame and resentment. I just want to feel good as a human being. And I understand that part of being a human being is that it won't always feel good. That's just setting yourself up for failure. That's why a lot of people also won't manifest their dream life, because they think once they get the dream life that there'll never be a problem again. Once I make 10,000 in my business, everything will be perfect and peachy and there'll never be a problem. And that's why you can't make it, because you think there'll never be another problem again. You think that everything will be solved. You think that once I'm in spiritual alignment, I'll never struggle. Nope. That's not true. Struggle will always exist as long as you are in a human body. That's part of the experiment. That's part of what we're going through. So if you think that on the other side of manifesting something, there's no struggle and there's no pain, you will not manifest that thing. You have to see there will always be pain, there will always be struggle, and your ability to feel it, your ability to receive it will also be in direct proportion to your ability to receive the millions, to receive the billions, to receive the abundance. I can't receive millions without also receiving pain. Millions comes with pain. Billions comes with pain. There will always be pain. Can you feel the feelings of pain? And check yourself with how often you try to stop yourself from feeling bad or others from feeling bad. How often, and we call it people pleasing sometimes, but like, oh, I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel bad. Stop feeling bad. When my baby is crying, like everywhere, like, how do we get her to stop feeling bad? Stop feeling bad. Don't feel bad. And I'm like, let her feel bad. Oh, let her feel it. Let her feel it. It sucks to witness my baby feeling bad, but let her feel bad. Gah. That's my work. That's the work that I have to do. I'm working on it. Again, everything I'm talking about, I am also learning. I am not an expert. I learn by teaching. The first time I talk about it, feels very raw. No condom, raw dog, right on in there. We didn't even lube it up, just raw. But that's how I learn. That's how I have to learn. That's my whole life. That's the belief pattern. That's my conditioning. The next time I talk about this will be a little bit softer. The next time will be even more softer. The next time will be even more softer. And eventually it'll feel like a hug and not so much a punch. But this is just how it shows up for me. It's got to be punched in the face, figure it out, and then we can get softer around it. So this conversation was difficult for you, hard for you, or at any point, come back in 8 months. It'll be a little bit softer next time. But let's stop trying to not feel bad. Let's just feel the bad. Let's feel the guilt. Let's feel the shame. Let's feel the abandonment. Let's feel the rejection. Because on the other side of that, there's so much peace and freedom. And if we keep trying to stop feeling the pain, we're living a life of pain. It is actually painful to avoid pain. You're trading one pain for another because you think it's more worse. But it's actually more painful to deny your truth. It's actually more painful to play small. It's actually more painful to stay little than it is to just feel the pain of what you're feeling. I know. In the past, when people have asked me for money, I have felt so much guilt and shame. I have it. I could send it. But it's like, it's kind of like, teaching somebody to fish. I want them to see their own power to manifest. Nobody handed me this money. I had to go make it. I had to go build my company. I had to put a product together. I had to make a website. I had to put it out there. I had to let people know it was available. I had to do work to make this happen. And if I just hand it to you, if I just give it to you and you think you just don't have to do anything for it, even with manifesting, like when I say I want to manifest millions, I know it's going to require work. I'm not afraid of the work. I'm not afraid of what has to be done. I'm not afraid of the growing. I'm not afraid of the expanding. I no longer have the fear of that. There's going to be pain in that. I embrace it. There's going to be struggle in that. I embrace it. There's going to be growth in that. I'm going to embrace it. There's going to be all kinds of difficult situations, and I'm willing to face them. I'm willing to feel them. I'm willing to grow. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to evolve. And I don't think that there will ever be a moment where it's just like, and there's never any other in there. There's going to be S, but the S aren't as bad when you're willing to feel whatever that feeling is and stop. Whatever we resist persists. So if we're resisting feeling bad, if we're resisting feeling the rejection, if we're resisting feeling the abandonment, if we're resisting feeling the guilt, if we're resisting feeling the shame, life will continually present us opportunities that say, feel it, feel it, feel it. No! Feel it, feel it, feel it. No! Why does this always happen to me? Feel it, feel it, feel it. Why can't I just have a good life? Feel it, feel it, feel it. No! But as long as we resist it, it will persist. Resistance is persistence. Feel the feelings of it. It doesn't actually last very long. I think like there's something about crying for 7 minutes. Like when you cry for 7 minutes, it like rewires your DNA or something. But it's really hard to get to the point of crying for 7 minutes. Like even when you feel it, I feel so much guilt the same. Crying beyond 7 minutes is actually kind of hard. But it's like, just feel the feelings of it. It doesn't last very long. And once you feel it, there's so much freedom on the other side of it, because now you're no longer doing cartwheels and twisting yourself in a pretzel to avoid feeling that feeling. So much of the pain of the feeling is in the trying to not feel it, not the actual feeling itself. It's not nearly as painful as the avoidance of it. Constantly trying to avoid feeling the feeling is way worse. And we live in that. We stay in that because it's comfortable. We know it. We understand it. We don't actually know feeling our feelings. I am just now beginning to learn to really, 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 really feel my feelings. I have to have a man say, okay, it's time to feel guilt, and let me hold this beautiful space for you so you can feel your guilt and you can cry, and I'm here and I got you and I have no judgment. Just feel your feelings. Feel them all. Cry your little heart out. It's very difficult for me to do it on my own. I want to. I'm learning and I'm figuring it out, and I'm allowing myself. Like I allowed myself to cry multiple times today. To feel those feelings. Let them out. Feel the feelings. Let them out. Feel the feelings. Feel the feelings. Feel the feelings. Feeling the feelings serves us far better than trying to avoid feeling the feelings. So if you're trying to present yourself from feeling bad, or you don't want someone else to feel bad, you gotta let them feel bad. You gotta feel bad. Feeling bad is worse. Feeling bad is better than trying to avoid feeling the bad. And there is a difference here. Like, I'm also learning this as well, right? Because I have felt guilt over how I've lived my life in the past. I have felt shame over how I lived my life in the past. And it's like, we can, it's more, how do I, there isn't, like, what I don't want you to do is write a story about how bad you are and then feed that and use that to feel bad. There's a difference between, I'm so awful, nobody loves me, I feel bad, I'm so right, no one will ever love me. That's writing a story. So I don't want you to write a story in the feeling of the bad. I want you to just feel the feeling and allow it to pass without a story. So there is an absolutely big difference, okay? And I'm still like, give me some 8 months before right now, this is raw dog, no lube, going right at it, real raw truth, okay? If you want a more finessed conversation, come back a little bit when I've finessed it. I'll make a program on it. Once I've finessed it, once I've fully fleshed it out. But like, I'm not encouraging anybody to write a story to feel bad and continue the story to feel bad, because that actually is not actually feeling the feeling. It's kind of like scapegoating the feeling. Feeling the feeling of feeling bad without a story around it. That's what I'm recommending. That's what I want you to do. So anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to go hang out with my baby. You guys have an amazing day. I'm sending you all the loves, all the vibes to feel your feelings. Go feel them. Everything you want is on the other side of the feelings you're avoiding feeling. And when you feel those feelings, freedom. So I love you all. Have an amazing day.